Hi, welcome to Gurr's Bees and Honey, home of the beekeeping nerd. I'm Carlos, the head nerd. One of the goals I have on my YouTube channel is to introduce viewers to different beekeepers, different methods, some of the regular methods, some more experienced, conventional, unconventional. And as part of that, I want to interview beekeepers from around the world if possible. And today's video is going to be the first in the process. I sat down with Bracken Barker of Barker's Bees and Honey from Bear River City, Utah, which is a very small town and near the Idaho border. Uh, I've been watching the YouTube videos of Bracken on Bracken's channel for about a year now, and I find him to be a very likable guy, common sense. He's also a farmer, and his experiences in farming has been very useful. So without further ado, we'll sit down with Bracken and ask him some questions. I hope you enjoy it. Going to visit with Bracken Barker, who lives in northern Utah, Bear River City, and he's been beekeeping for how long?
About 4 years.
Okay.
4 years and some change.
And what got you into it?
Um, well, I gave up one addiction for another. I gave up drinking alcohol for bees, and I got into bees. My dad and I bought a couple colonies back in 2013. It was 2013 or 2012, and we kept them for a couple of years, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, but we didn't know what we were doing, so we lost the colonies after a couple of years. We did get some honey off of them, and financially he didn't want to buy any more, which was understandable. We weren't beekeepers, we're farmers. And then after I had quit drinking and had that, I wanted to have a new hobby, and I had always had the interest in the bees, and I told my wife I'm gonna do it, and I did it, and it just blew up. I became obsessed with it. I became addicted to it. I still, 4 years, and that's all I think about. It's all I talk about. It's all I want to talk about.
It too?
Well, I don't remember many of my dreams, but yeah, I'm sure. I know it's the first thing my wife is the first thing through my head in the morning, last thing at
As it
night.
should be.
Yeah. But then right next closely to bees. So, but
Okay, you've been doing it for 4 years. What do you like best about it?
I like when I go into a bee yard, everything, the world, it doesn't disappear, but it goes away. My mind goes into a way that I can't. I mean, beekeepers can understand it, but I can put my phone away. Even when I'm filming, I can put the phone away, or if it is out, and my anxiety and my stress and my depression and my anger and everything just goes away. It's just that's what I like the most about it. I like to go out and get recharged, and yeah, I love everything. I love the smells. Here's one that's really silly. I love watching Ian Stepler's videos, or any videos, but when they pop the lid on the boxes and it makes that wood clanky sound, love that sound. I could listen to that all the time.
The crack of the pop.
The crack when they pop the lid off and set it to the side, and you can kind of hear that wood, clanking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't. That's silly, but I love it.
What do you find most frustrating about beekeeping?
That I can't figure it out better. That you try one thing and it works, and then the next time it doesn't work, or that, well, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that I find frustrating. I mean, I like the challenge. I like the challenge of mites are frustrating, but I like the problems because it teaches me it. I get to learn from it, and I get to, if I lose a colony, sure, it upsets me, but it's part of farming. It's part of agriculture. People lose cattle, people lose horse. It's the name of the game. You're gonna lose. So why did I lose that? It was weak because it didn't have enough food. So then reminds me to feed better. So frustrating, that's probably, mites are pretty frustrating. I I wish we could figure out a way to treat them better, but I think we got pretty decent treatments.
So you mentioned that your family's farmers. How many acres do you farm here?
About 110 acres.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your primary crops?
We grow, right now we have some wheat planted, grass, hay. Our grass has alfalfa mixed with it, so it's kind of a grass alfalfa mix. And then we grow some three-way, which is triticale, wheat, and barley. We cut that before it heads out while it's green, and then we bale it and sell it as feed, and people feed it to their horses or their cows. Or cows like it more than horses do. Horses will be a little bit pickier and finesse with it, and they kind of, you know, pick and choose what they, but cows will lap it up pretty good. But we don't do any row crops. We don't do any corn or onions or anything. My neighbor does corn and onions, but we do mostly wheat, barley, the triticale stuff. I've grown safflower in the past on a dry land once. I might try that again more where I have bees. I got to look into the research a little bit more of safflower and bees. I don't know. I don't know the pollen or the nectar, if it would be worth it or not. But yeah, it's not a hobby farm. It's a family farm. You know, it's my grandma and grandpa, they ran it and made a living off of it. And my dad, he's worked for the city. You know, he worked for the city for 40 years and just had the farm on the side. And I want to take this farm and I want to keep it a farm, but I want to shift it towards beekeeping. I want to plant buckwheat, and I want to plant more alfalfa and let the alfalfa bloom more, and, you know, get a crop of honey off of the alfalfa, and then cut it and sell it for bales. You know, I really want to take bare spots of the farm and try to grow like Rocky Mountain bee plant or weeds that would benefit, you know, flowers, plants that would benefit the farm.
Desert friendly plants.
Yeah, desert friendly, because we have a lot of barren dirt that we usually just dump. Well, let's be honest, we dump Roundup on it. You know, on our ditch banks and stuff, we spray the weeds because they're obnoxious and it's a problem. But if we could somehow find a way to do that would grow and get it established and working, that's what I want to do. I want to keep the farming, but I want to make it more pollinator friendly.
And you currently have how many hives?
48, 49, counting my little nuke out there.
Okay, and most of them are in California.
All of them are in California, yep, except my little 5-frame nuke. So we'll see what.
How's it doing this winter?
It's doing pretty good. I put a fondant patty on it last week. They've ate some of it, so it's doing good.
One of the reasons I found Bracken is that he has a YouTube channel that is quite enjoyable to watch. Can you tell us about your YouTube channel and how you got into doing YouTube and how people can find it?
Yeah, Barker's Bees and Honey is the YouTube channel. It's just me doing stuff about bees and farming. It's not really anything too special. I really like Ian Stepler's videos, and I just want somebody, if there's beekeepers in northern Utah or, you know, southern Idaho or this area, to maybe have some sort of reference, somebody, because when I started, I was looking at, you know, all the other YouTube channels out there, and the beekeepers on the East Coast are great, but sometimes when they're doing things, that's not what we're doing here in Utah.
Yeah.
So
Florida and Iowa are different than Utah.
Yeah, quite different, significantly different, and it's tough. So I really want to just build a community of beekeeping, and I'm trying to do these classes and get people involved in bees, and I just want to help the community and be more involved with it and be an asset to it, and not, you know what I mean? I'm not the smartest beekeeper out there, and I'm sure learning as I go, but, you know, I'm sure passionate about it, and I'm sure loving every minute of it, and I love talking to people about bees. I've met so many good people, and it's just fun. I just want to grow a community. That's my YouTube goal, I guess, is to grow a following. And I got a lot of people that aren't even probably from here that watch it, but the main goal was to help locals around here. But
I noticed that you do have one viewer from Australia.
oh yeah,
Australian beekeeper
yeah,
blog.
yeah. I text him once in a while. He can't remember his name, but it was crazy because he was getting ready for winter while we were getting ready for summer, and he pollination. And I'm like, wait a second, you're on the complete.
Yeah, I watch his channel, and it's just relaxing sitting and watching him get into his homemade minis.
Yes, I love those, and I love his accent and his talk. And he hasn't posted a video. It seems like
Yeah,
for
it's
a
been
minute.
a few months, so I keep looking for him.
Yep, post one.
What is your 1-year plan?
This year, 2026, I want to double. So I want to go from my 48 to whatever that is. I want to get to 100
Hence,
colonies.
a whole bunch of new boxes.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of new frames.
Yeah, getting all my stuff prepped and ready. I really don't want to bite off more than I can chew, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I really want to do this right. I want to go slow. I got up to this year. I actually got up to, I think I had 70 or 75 colonies. And then by the time I had some weaker ones, and I combined them for the California, and and I was maintaining them fine. I know that I can do 100 colonies. Like, somebody might disagree, but I like to be optimistic, and I just got to be more efficient. And my goals is to grow. I'm gonna feed good. I'm gonna treat for mites good. I would rather have quality hives instead of quantity. So if I get to a point to where they're turning out weak or bad, I'm going to combine them. I'm not going to carry them. Sick bees don't make money. Sick bees don't make honey either. So, or weak, I'm not going to, it's different for a hobby. And I don't want to say I'm a sideliner or a commercial guy, because I'm not. I've only got 48 colonies, but because there's commercial guys that have got thousands, tens of thousands. That's commercial. But I also am to a point to where I don't just worry about 2 colonies. If I had 2, I would probably treat them, I'd baby them more. But I do want to grow this into a business, and a successful business, and so I'm not gonna take a whole lot of time babying sick or weak bees. That's one thing I want to pay attention this year, because last year I found myself kind of coddling some. And then at the end, I ended up combining them anyways. And it's like, why didn't I just do that and start them, And queen rearing. I want to get a little bit better at queen rearing.
And what is your 5-year goal?
5-year goal, I want to send a semi to California. I want to send and it doesn't have to be, that's one thing that some people have kind of been misunderstanding, is doesn't necessarily have to be a semi-load of all my bees. If I got to take 100 of a buddy's or something to help fill the load and, fill some of that void. But I want as many of them to be mine as possible. And if in 5 years, I kind of figure, if I'm doubling or half in every year, this year I could get to 100. Next year, if I went to 200 or even 150, I'm thinking in 5 years I can have at least 300 colonies. And then fill the rest with, Brad or, somebody who wants to jump on and do a little bit of that to help somebody. But it's kind of hard helping people take little, colonies here and there. Onesies, twosies is kind of, I definitely would set a minimum. They'd have to have them on pallets and stuff like that. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and want me to take their bees. And it's kind of like, well, I'm willing, but I just don't have the place and the time and the room and, yet. But
yeah, if they can palletize them and have them ready to go so that it's easy to do it, but if it takes a lot of your time. Right.
Yep. And that's this last kid that I took. I was willing to work with him, but I gave him some pretty strict rules, and he was like, okay, I'll respect it. He fought, he had them on pallets. He had them cleaned. He had them ready. I gave him a deadline. You'll have them here. They were there on time, so it didn't hinder me any, because then I just loaded mine and loaded his, type thing. And same with Brad, my mentor. He, I just said, this is when I want them there. This is where, So it worked good. But my goal in 5 years is that I want to be able to send a semi-load to bees to California.
Now, in your videos, you have quite a few where you feature your kids, like the frame building jig behind you. Your daughter was gluing and placing the frames all together. How's that go over with the kids and with your wife?
I think they all love it. I think the wife loves it. She gets a little break from the kids, and a lot of the times Cole's in the car seat or something, behind the scenes. He's a little bit littler and can't quite help yet, but the kids love it. Stella loves it. My oldest daughter, she's 14, so boys and friends are more important than work. And my son Nash is really good at helping. My other daughter Bryn, she would help. She helps quite a bit. She helped put boxes away and carry boxes and stuff, but I got to get her a little bit more involved. And I really do. That's another goal maybe this year I want to do, is get my kids more involved in the business, make them feel like it's more part of them. And, even if I pay them a little bit to make them feel, my dad never paid me, but he did in ways. Dad, I know you.
I had my grandsons come over and help, and my son kind of suggested I pay him, and I said, I don't pay, but I do feed.
Yeah, I'll buy you drinks.
I
give you a house to live in. Yeah, I give my kids a roof and clothes on their back. So.
Yeah. What advice do you have for beginners?
Oh, I don't know if I've really ever been asked that. Find somebody that you can trust. Learn from their mistakes. Find somebody local. Try to get. Here's a good piece of advice. Get advice from people who are supporting their family with bees or other families. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get advice from smaller hobbyists and stuff, because those guys are just as smart. Brian with Castle Hives, he doesn't have very many, but he's very knowledgeable, very, very smart. I guess it depends on your goal. If you're wanting to turn it into something big, I think that's what you need to focus on and follow that style of beekeeping. If you want it to be a backyard hobby, I think you need, Carlos has very good videos, and I think you need to find those smaller guys and focus on them, and just find somebody that is reliable, that it's working for them. You're going to see a lot of videos on YouTube, including probably some of mine, where at times I was just, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just filming. And so you got to be careful. You're going to ask 10 beekeepers a question and you're going to get 11 answers. So filter the nonsense and do what works for you.
What color of socks do you recommend when you're tending bees in shorts?
If you're gonna post a video, do black socks all the way up to your knees in shorts. That's what I recommend. It makes a good video. But yeah, no, that was bad. Oh, that hurt.
You can find the video on his channel.
Yeah, it's on the. I don't know what it's titled. I don't remember, but getting attacked by bees with black socks.
Yeah, it was sometime around August, I believe.
Yeah, maybe Carlos could find it and drop a link.
If I can find the link, I'll post it.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
What advice do you have for people that have been keeping bees for 40 years?
I don't know. Teach me the tricks. Give me the help your neighbor. Help your local beekeeper. If you've got secrets, I'm not a big secret fan. Like in agriculture, I think, if farmers have a way that works good, I think we need to share it. I think we need to be more vulnerable and more. I know we get these little things and tips and tricks that work us, and we guard it and we think, oh, this is mine. Which is okay, but I would love to sit down with somebody who has spent 40 years with bees and pick their brain, because they've forgot more than I know right now, and just share your knowledge. And if it works for them, like I said, everybody's going to take a little piece here and there, and You know, I can learn something from you. I can learn something from Ian. I can learn something from Bob Benny. I can learn something from Bruce. I can take all these things and build my own thing, you know. So a 40-year beekeeper, tell your secrets. What's the secret?
And that's my next question. What's the secret to beekeeping?
I don't think there is a secret to beekeeping. I think it's a try it and find out, trial and error. I mean, yes, you can predict things. Yes, you can have an idea of what's going to happen. You can do treatments to prevent from mites. You can feed to prevent. But really, when it comes down to it, it's in the hands of God. It's not up to us. We're the keeper, but we're not the decider. We're not the one that makes, you know, I can do everything I possibly can to keep a box of bees alive and it'll still die. You know, for what? I don't know. It's just the way it is. Farmers and ranchers dedicate their time and their money and do everything they can to provide for their cattle, and they still lose cows. It's just the name of the game. Sometimes they know why, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's sickness, sometimes it's starvation, sometimes I don't think there's a secret, but I do think there's a bunch of tips and tricks that will help.
Now, you mentioned Brad is one of your mentors. He's a local beekeeper, lives about a half mile from here. Who else do you look for? You mentioned a few other YouTubers. Who are the people you look for advice or for their methods?
If I have something that I like to try my own, you know, I like to try my own style and do things a little bit. But if I get to a point to where I have a question about how to split or, you know, something specifically like that, I usually will turn to Ian's videos or Bob Benny or Bruce. I've talked to a few. I'm getting a little bit better group here myself in Utah or even Nevada in Idaho of some commercial or bigger beekeepers than me, and so I've talked to some of them, you know, and I just kind of get, like I said, I just kind of look what's out there, and I'll if I have this problem, I'll see what XYZ is done, you know, person ABC is done, and I think, oh, well, this will work for me better in my operation. So it just depends. I just seek anybody who's successful at it.
Okay, last word. What do you think we missed in this interview?
I don't know. I think it was a pretty good interview. I think that was good. That flowed really well. Invest in your equipment. All right, yeah, here's a couple things. Build your equipment, invest in your equipment, build your bees. Don't put all your money towards bees because bees will die. You know, buy boxes, buy some frames, and then split. Make your splits, grow into your business. That's actually a Stepler saying is build your equipment and build your bees. Invest in your equipment, build your bees. That's how he says it. But beekeeping it's expensive. There's a lot of expensive things out there. You know, I have done a lot of refinishing, and these were old boxes that I got from a lady. You know, you don't have to go out and spend a fortune to become a beekeeper. You can do it smart. You can do it in your backyard. You can do it with a 10-foot area of room. You don't have to have 10 acres to have bees. You know, it's a hobby that I think is very adaptable to many places so if you're interested in beekeeping, get into it. You don't have to buy top quality stuff.
And again, if they want to watch your videos, how can they find them?
So Barker's Bees and Honey on YouTube, you can just type that in, or I have my Instagram is Barker's Bees. I have TikTok, Facebook. I am on all the social medias. I use them and shuffle them around, you know, videos. I'll make TikTok videos and then post them as shorts on YouTube. And so basically, if you have a computer and know how to work it, just type in Barker's Bees and Honey and you'll find me somewhere.
And do you sell any equipment?
I want to start selling some equipment. I got some HDO boards over here that I've made, and, you know, kind of during the winter months when things are a little bit slower and the farm slowed down, I want to start building some. I think lids right now is about all I would sell, but maybe I'll get into boxes someday, depending on the demand. But it's something I'm definitely interested in pursuing and trying. Just bees, anything with bees.
And if somebody's interested in some good northern Utah honey, how do they get some?
Oh, they can order some online on my website, markersbeesandhoney.com, and I can ship. And I have some here in the local area. You can go to the Ace Hardware in Brigham, or there's a place up in Tremont called Hello Halls. Shout out to them. She sells quite a bit of my honey. And then the Bear River Valley Co-op out in Corinne also is willing to sell my honey, and they're pretty good sellers too. So those are 3 places you can get, or contact me on social media. And if you want to come pick up a fresh bottle from the house, come on out.
And do you do a lot of self-packaging, or do you sell bulk, or how do you do that?
I do mostly all self-packaging. I put it all in smaller bottles. The biggest one I typically sell is a 5-pound bottle. I have a 3-pound bottle, and then a 2-pound, 1 pound, and half pound, and then a 2-ounce. But those are my sizes. But I try to keep it as small as possible and sell.
Well, I think this has been a great interview. I've enjoyed speaking with Bracken Barker here in Bear River City, Utah. I've known Bracken now for almost a year, and it's been enjoyable chatting with him, bouncing ideas back and forth, talking about queen rearing and stuff. So thanks for joining us here at Gers Bees and Honey, home of the Beekeeping Nerd.
Thanks. Pause.
Keep talking.
I do that too on mine. I'll hold my hand up for like an edit. And then I know I'll cut that segment out.
Just go it.
Yeah, cut.
I figured I'd move over so you're looking more towards the camera.
Yeah. So, got those. I don't know, cut. I don't know.
Okay. Pause for a second and then say it.
Okay.
That way I can.
Yeah, snip.
And I
Cut.